I'm doing great. Just started the YouTube retransmission, restreaming, trying to use the OBS Studio just to see how that works. How's it going? What time is it where you are?
Transmission initiated. I'm in rainy London right now. It's always rained when I'm here. I hear your mic. I think it's great.
Awesome. Yeah, there's people on YouTube also gathering up. So if anybody's listening on YouTube, give me a thumbs up if the sound sounds good and the quality is good. Just let me know. Otherwise, I just wanted to get into. Well, actually, been getting a lot of suggestions to get into something like really easygoing live Twitter Spaces for about 30 minutes to talk about Zens, NFTs, the future, the action, everything. And basically, what we can do is we can take about 10 minutes to talk among us, Zensu, and then we'll take some AMA questions. So I think that would be a good format. What do you think?
That sounds great. I'm actually what do you say, decrypting the light paper into quarks and making a video, which I will release on Education on YouTube, explaining these NFTs, this XEN torrent, how it works, put it in perspective, and just writing about it and writing the script to this video makes me so excited. I mean, it's going to bring so much value to Zen when it comes to teaching community, teaching Xenians how NFTs really work and how that can be compared with Zen as a value entity. And now we can do something else with it, and we can reach new markets, and we can unlock the time value, and we can go from Zen being in its most inflationary phase to then introduce something with rarity right away. So there's just like endless amount of it's really a challenge because I have to like stick to a path and not go away too much. But yeah, like it's really exciting.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
it's definitely exciting. I think Zen NFTs really comes from kind of, I would say, a little bit of a different world. It combines the abundance with rarity. Remember, we had this conversation how Zen is meant to be abundant and everybody should have Zen in their pockets and their wallets, where NFTs or Zen NFTs introduce this sort of gamification or a use case on top of Zen where you can actually use Zen to generate and to mint free NFTs. So usually the NFT creators, when the NFTs are designed, they're never really just truly minted. You have to buy them, and you have to buy them by the team setting the price for the NFTs to be something. That's how they raise money. So, and we see examples pretty much in 99.999% of all the cases. The teams raise money by selling something that they just let's say print out of thin air, but of course there's a little bit of more work than just regular ERC20 tokens. ERC721s require graphics. Generally, NFTs that do well require to have some sort of a roadmap, one way or the other. In our case, it's very different in the sense that you get to mint free NFT, and the utility of the NFT that we are creating is to have a future mint or almost like a yield for the Zen that you will receive in the future. Now, to combine that with Zen Burn is an interesting game mechanics as well, because you have to, first of all, have Zen to begin with. You can either purchase it on the open market or you can mint it for yourself, and then you use it for the rare class to burn it. So you burn Zen, you don't give it back to us in any way because we never really had it. The community had it. And so when you burn Zen, you can generate a rare NFT that actually now will have the uh, Zen counter. Or like, for example, if you burn 10 million Zen, the NFT will record that that was the burn. And so now it is as if you have transferred economic energy from ERC20 contract to ERC721. And of course, you can trade it as well, because if Zen's value goes up in price on the open market, then the NFT that carries this number, the number of burned Zen, will also go up in price as well. So that's very interesting dynamic or game mechanic, I would say, where on one side NFTs require you to make more Zen in the future. However, for the rare and limited series, you have to burn a lot of Zen actually to mint them. But you don't pay anybody anything. Ultimately, if you want to get a very rare NFT, you're going to have to get some Zen somewhere. So you will push the price higher, the value will go up, and then you will be, I guess, willing to burn it to generate the NFT, which is really interesting. And that same NFT will make more Zen for you in the future. So that's kind of very exciting dynamic.
There's other, like, if we look at it from an NFT perspective as well, like NFT was introduced. It's a new kind of asset class which mixes non-fungibility with digital, and it was firstly done by creating some art and a new way for artists to distribute and find new people to enjoy their art, you could say, and then we started making this, generative PFP projects, and it's been fun because it's been such a short while that we've had NFTs. But then it was all about how can we make a community of 10,000 people within seconds, which is just like astonishing that you can what happened with these different NFT communities, and that's what's so amazing with this technology, that we can build these communities very fast and find each other, just like we have with Zen. But then it's like, okay, all this PFP, what should you do with them? And this, I think, from an NFT, because we have to realize, like, OpenSea that 120 million viewers on their sites a couple of months ago. It's a huge new audience, and many of them are not crypto native. So I think what we can contribute to the NFT market is huge, because we have all of these different mechanics underneath the hood, with Zen and Zen protocol and minting. So, like, no matter from which angle you look at this, it's incredibly exciting. But you sort of need to understand the basics of vanilla C ranking, vanilla cranking. And again, if you understand the mint formula, then everything else becomes sort of easy and builds on top of that. But it's going to be interesting to see how the NFT crowd that comes in understands all of this as well. What are your thoughts there? Do you think they will be able to grasp because you can buy the NFT, but the rights of the future claim mint goes along with NFT rights. So if you sell it, you're losing those rights.
Yeah,
if you buy
but
it, you're acquiring those rights, and you have maturity date.
well, that's actually is the idea, because NFTs will have the future mint for Zen. People should be able to see exactly what's coming, and we should be very, very clear in the sense that uh, what is the implied future yield, right? And so that's very interesting, because and obviously we have seen and borrowed from the existing technology. Like, I remember exploring NFTs last year, 2021. I think it was summertime, and I was looking at some NFTs that actually generate ERC20 tokens themselves. In this particular case, we already have the free mint for Zen that works quite well, and what we're just doing, we're simplifying the future mint, because you will be able to pay as much gas as you want and generate a lot of VMUs, which is equivalent to wallets or wallet addresses, and amplify your rewards in the future. Now, let's say that you have done it this month, and then next month or maybe 3 months from now, then value rallies. Now, the value encoded in your NFT will also rally, which makes Zen actually more liquid because you're now will be able to trade collectible instruments that actually generate yield on your behalf, but someone else has initiated and then sold it to you. So that's opens up the marketplace really wide. So right now obviously we see Zen being traded everywhere. I mean, besides Coinbase and Binance, but those things I think will eventually come. Um, but the NFT,
I think Coinbase added Zen to their wallet. It's not listed, but it's on
well,
their wallet.
their wallet runs on Uniswap, which means that you can buy any token on
That's true.
on Coinbase. So it's I mean that's the way that they're doing marketing. Yeah, but it's very exciting. I think, I mean, obviously if we look at the Etherscan and we look at the top use cases for Ethereum blockchain, Seaport and OpenSea is almost always number one and number two. So it is a very important market when it comes to user engagement and usability of the blockchain. And it gives it this sort of a lighthearted, collectible area, or the game mechanics that people enjoy, besides being so, serious and investing into, a coin or crypto, and they hope it's going to pump and they're trying to avoid the dump. I mean, like, generally, I think the mentality of people who collect NFTs is a little bit different. They buy them and they hold them for a long time, maybe a couple of years. But then, I mean, of course, there are some NFTs that a flash in a pan. They raise a lot of money and then they disappear. So there's a lot of scams. So we have to be, obviously, people have to be careful in the NFT marketplace. But nevertheless, NFT marketplaces. Number one is Uniswap. We see it on the gas burner chart. And number two is Seaport, which is OpenSea protocol.
That is an interesting dynamic that you mentioned right there, that you usually do what we want to avoid by not being another Bitcoin. We want them to be used. We want it to be peer-to-peer. We don't want to incentivize hodling. And NFTs are usually something you buy and hold, as you say. But now you buy an NFT and then you're come maturity date, you exchange that for a lot of Zen, which you then have an abundance of, so to speak. So you go from one to many, and you're incentivized to take action.
Yeah, yeah. Should we?
We have a
Yeah, we have 71 guests, so it looks like those people have filled up. How about we take some questions? So let's get people ask us anything at all. So we're all for transparency. So feel free to ask the easy questions, ask the hard questions. People ask me if I'm an alien. I'm happy to go into that as well. Yeah, so let's do it.
Hangi VM, you have a question? You just have to unmute yourself, Hangi VM. Until we don't have any other questions, just interrupt us. What I will also talk about in the future video is the difference between fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens. So it's something we've had those concepts for a while, but it's always good for, even if you're pure degen, just to go back to the basics, like what is really separating a token from an NFT. Because there are huge differences, and you can do things with a token you can't do with an NFT, and vice versa, because of the structure of the dark energy. Olof and Tina. And we have Michael as well. Go ahead, guys.
I'm only wondering who will be the users, the how to say it, the customers of this NFTs, because, for example, who would have ever thought that Bored Apes or CryptoPunks would be traded on would be selling on Christie's. So I'm wondering how that will be with the NFTs. Will they be traded as financial instruments, or maybe rather like some kind of collectibles? So this is not really a question, just wondering about how this could develop.
Yeah, wondering out loud. Yeah, that's fine. We think, obviously, the series of NFTs that we're releasing, the first two series are rare and limited. And then there's the other ones that I think we're renaming them from common to be called collectibles. And they're all very functional because they encode the future mint, or which could be perceived as yield. Now, the burn function or proof of burn within the Zen protocol is something that I'm super excited about, because we expect between 5 to 10 trillion of Zen to be minted each year. Now, that number seems like a large number, but ultimately that number does not matter, and you can just look at that number as an X within Zen, right? And then the only number that truly matters is the number of people that heard of Zen and actually using Zen for something, whether it's a mint or any other functional type of behavior around crypto, whether it's learning or gifting it to friends, anything like that. With ZenFTs burning a lot of the supply, that introduces something that I don't think a lot of cryptos have seen before, because generally it is the team that produces ERC20 tokens. They have a roadmap to burn, and they generally burn it themselves, or maybe they ask the community to burn it, but they don't give anything in return. Sometimes they give another token, and it's a proof of burn token, which is also ERC20. So we're one of the first ones that will generate a totally mobile collectible NFT that presents itself as a certificate of burn, which is quite interesting dynamic, because, well, if let's say that you're not participating in NFTs, you're not buying NFTs, you're not minting them, but you're just a holder or a minter of Zen. If Zen's supply burns by 50% for the sake of argument, you get to indirectly participate due to the price pressure and the price action, since we all know when the supply burns faster than the production, the price or the value of a token becomes deflationary in a sense that the value has to go up to maintain the equilibrium between people coming in into the network or into the mint or into just learning about Zen, finding out about Zen, and then buying it. And then if it's not available, if the NFTs marketplace is sucking them all in for the burn to generate more NFTs, then that sort of dynamic, I think, is positive across the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, this is interesting that you do everything yourself. You mint your coins after you burn them, and everyone does the same thing. So this is unlike any other crypto.
Yeah, it is unlike any other crypto, but yet it is within the parameters of the use of crypto. It's just we're connecting the game mechanics with the economic storage, if you will. But at the same time, the output of Zen increases because NFTs allow you to mint more Zen, except in the future. So you're pushing the inflation out into the future, and you're running deflationary force in the present, which makes the Zens more, I would say, achieve a sort of an equilibrium. So in the present, there's less Zen, but in the future there will be more. But who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have another mechanism similar to an NFT to burn it also. Or just, if you think about it, let's say Zen is accepted by retailers out there. It's effectively the world's consumption of Zen is similar to burn in a way that it makes Zen more scarce for the traders out there. So Zen, if Zen is used a lot by the world, then it's not freely available. Therefore, the price will go up. So that's the way I think about it.
I'd like to add there also.
Sorry, Sanzo. No, at some points, it's possible even that it nullify itself, the minting and the burning, and it achieves equilibrium.
Yeah, equilibrium.
State of zero, absolute zero.
Yeah, the equilibrium. So we want the equilibrium to bring the value of the community forward, where the system isn't flooded by a useless token, because the tokens that are useless, it's not the tokens that where there's a lot of them. It's a situation where insider holders hold a lot of tokens and they don't do anything with them, and sometimes they sell them into a market that's very illiquid. So what we want to achieve with Zen is that we want the maximum liquidity and maximum world and user adoption. And I think with Zen NFTs and the mint mechanics that we have introduced, we can actually achieve that.
What I like to say there is there's a huge educational value here for the community, because if Zen's going to be adopted, it needs to have utility. And now you can use Zen for something, and you can use it to acquire something else, an NFT, a Zen NFT. Because it's all about having one unit of energy that we created now with a lot of quality, and then create the roads for converting that unit of energy into something else, which you can do with stuff that you couldn't do before with the other kind of unit of energy. So the dynamics of the NFT are just vast in comparison to a normal ERC20 token, for good and bad. There are different characteristics of the two units of energy here. They're non-interchangeable versus interchangeable. They're unique versus uniform. They're non-divisible versus divisible, etc. So I think for finding utility for Zen as a token and for spreading the adoption, we need to show the community that we can convert Zen to other forms of energy. I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's so exciting about it. So a lot of people in the beginning, they asked, okay, what is the utility for Zen besides the abundance in free mint? And the utility is ability to convert Zen as a token into some other forms of crypto. And Zen NFTs are perfectly designed to take advantage of this sort of abundance. So that's super exciting, I would say. All right, let's take more questions. Who else wants to talk?
Well, Hang Vivian or Michael.
Hello. I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm sorry about that. So my question is that do we have a specific time for Zen NFT for the market?
So specific timeline, we're pretty close to finishing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. So
Okay.
yeah, so I would say probably early December. That's what the team is aiming for the timeline for Zen NFTs to be released. They're going through an audit right now, internal audit, and there is an outside auditing firm is involved. And once we know that everything is safe and works as intended, then we'll make an announcement on Twitter. But likely it's going to be about 3 weeks.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
We still haven't sent it to the external audit, so all your guys' feedback is highly appreciated. You now have the opportunity to help form this new revolution within Zen. Crypto Snake, you have a question. We still have.
Yeah, we all hope that in the future there will be projects launching that make use of the Zen token, and it's likely that they will launch on many chains. And I think since the token is different on the all chains, like the price, so are you considering like making a wrapped version of the Ethereum token on other chains?
Generally, when it comes to wrapping, I would say we could do it, or anybody else could do it. It doesn't really matter. The mechanics of wrapping is completely, I would say, open and open source, so it's possible that someone else decides to do it. But it would be a good idea, obviously, because if we have a lot of demand on other chains and we want to wrap Ethereum, let's say on Binance, or wrap Ethereum on Polygon, then there's no reason not to do it, because we want Zen to be freely transmissible between the chains.
So I think that it could be nice if these NFTs had some kind of scope in collecting them, like some of those card games, the conspiracy games, or some other kind. Each of them has a different power, and each of them does a certain thing. So maybe it's too ahead to think about it, but maybe it could be prepared for some kinds of a game. And so there could be also some ACE introduced, ACE card, ACE NFT of some kind that does something special that other cards cannot do.
Well, what's really interesting about the NFT project, or NFTs in general, is that there's no limit of the creative output and capability that we could come up with. So this is our first release of NFTs, but it doesn't mean that we're going to stop coming up with other versions that do different interesting things. There's really no need to limit ourselves. So I think Zen as the contract obviously is immutable, but the use cases for Zen are it's an open road. So anybody could come up with games or anything that's more serious, not just an NFT, by using Zen. So Zen in itself we cannot change, but the if we think of Zen as fuel, that fuel could be used to build new cars, to build spaceships, to build anything you want on top of the ecosystem. So that's what really excites me moving forward.
Bella, you have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, don't forget to unmute yourself. That's I always often make that mistake as well.
Okay. So when you're going to launch, are we going to be notified like a day late before, and to be prepared?
I think it's gonna be 3 or 4 days at least, because likely what we will do is we'll get the audit results, we'll confirm that everything is working fine, and then we will select the next weekend to launch on the weekend so that we can
For gas, right?
yeah, hopefully not to drive.
Yeah, yesterday the gas was outrageous in the night.
Yeah, well, that's because of the FTX. So, and
Yeah, I know. Another question is, when you launch, what currency are you going to be using? Like Wrap ETH?
it's probably, well, that is actually the question.
I'm asking these questions because, there's another launch, and just to be prepared, because if you're not prepared, then you can miss out on these NFTs.
So when it comes to minting NFTs, we're not dropping them or airdropping them on OpenSea or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
So you will be able to come to our website. You will need Zen.
It's just like the testnet, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
exactly. So testnet's supposed to mirror the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Thank you.
So you don't need wrapped ETH. You just need the regular ETH to pay for gas, and you need some Zen to burn Zen to create limited series.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, I really love your artwork. So I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Bella, wasn't it you who made the first NFT with a second rhino? Like very early on. I think I remember. You were early in the community.
Yeah,
Some rhino.
Well, I think.
Yeah. You know what? You know why I picked the rhino? Because the rhino is the most like, it's like one of the oldest animals, and the one that always like is still around.
Still around.
I mean, it's still around, right?
Oh, of course.
It's from the dinosaur time.
Well, I thought chickens were the new dinosaurs.
So you know what I was thinking for an NFT for you guys would be like that dog that you guys keep like a white dog, like a wolf.
Oh, is that my dog?
I mean, yeah, kind of like your dog.
Or is it the dog?
Like, how you wear like a hat that looks like a dog?
Oh, that's a husky hat that I wear. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a husky could be like like the NFT for you guys.
Yeah, something like an Easter egg or a special NFT.
Yeah, so I'll come up with one.
That's great. That's great.
All right, guys.
We're gonna launch at. Thank you, Bella. We're gonna launch at Ethereum first and just see that everything works out well. But the protocol is EVM compatible, so it's gonna work on all the other chains that we already deployed on.
Okay.
And we need the audit to be 100% as always.
Yeah, I know. And then you guys have to check the audit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's out of our hands. That's why it's a little bit difficult to say exactly when. And also, since it's like a huge thing that's going to have a huge impact probably, it's better to take at least a few days or a week extra just to fine-tune everything before rushing it. What do you say, Jen?
Yeah, I also, what's going on too, like, I would kind of let everything kind of, there's too much going on right now in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, a lot of serious stuff is happening.
I stopped watching movies since I started with crypto. It's just not exciting enough. I can't finish a movie.
No, I stopped watching. Yeah, like these spaces is like watching a Netflix without the picture.
Yeah. Did you see the speaking of spaces?
Liberty 3.
Okay, let's continue. Let's stay on topic.
Okay, thank you, Jack. I think it was yesterday. I heard you say that so far you have minted only on Ethereum. And so A, is that true? And if that's the case, why has that been your choice so far? And can you see yourself minting on other chains? And then second, if I might, with regard to your plans to future, widespread adoption of Zen, is that something that you're anticipating would happen organically, or are there concrete business steps being taken that would, create or cause or, facilitate adoption, by businesses or people, specific plans basically for adoption going on that you expect to announce in the future? Thanks.
Sure. So the last question, obviously, is probably the most important question. So I think what we need to do is we need to achieve critical mass. We want our cryptocurrency to be widely available worldwide, obviously. And once that happens, that will create a lot of marketing powder or power that will allow us to approach various entities out there, whether it's retailers or service providers, online games, anything like that. And we can basically say, look, we have 200 million users or 500 million users. This is the cryptocurrency of the world. Let us help you adapt it, and let's bring people into crypto, make crypto safer. Let's explore first principles, what first principles stand for. And I think that is ultimately it's not going to be an easy task, but I don't see it as impossible, just because likely the move of Zen across the world is going to be quite rapid. That's how I feel about it. And then the second question, or rather the first question you asked, why am I not minting on other chains? To be honest, it's more of a preference of juggling records. Like, I don't want to have Excel spreadsheets with addresses that are everywhere and then I just lose track. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which chain you're mint on. I just choose Ethereum because it's kind of like the granddaddy of all the chains, and that's where the most of the problems could occur due to gas. So I'd like to, I guess, practice what I preach, and I want to spend gas, and I want to see if there's any issues. So I continue to mint every weekend just to see what the pulse of the mint is, like, so to speak.
Got it. Okay, gotcha. Just a follow up on the adoption question. I mean, are you imagining that this effort would require large amounts of people that you're employing and an organization and, all the infrastructure that goes with, building a business, I guess specifically in terms of large numbers of people? Or how would you do that without that?
To be honest, that's also an open question. I think since we do not own Zen directly, we're more of an initiator, and we're the first builder, or one of the first builders on top of Zen with ZenFTs. So if we were to create a larger entity, and we're only, I would say, like 4 or 5 people right now. Plus, there's a lot of people out there that's helping us with Telegram. There's a lot of administrators and community leaders. So those people, obviously, notwithstanding, that's our team. We're not a very large team, but moving forward, when we start working with other teams creating utilities, or we ourselves create utilities for Zen, then I would see us obviously grow. But of course, it has to be economically viable in a sense that we need to either raise money somehow or receive some donations to get the whole thing started. And ultimately, the end result is that we really want it to be mutually beneficial. We want the investors to, people, and when I say investors, it's the people who bought into Zen on the open market, or people who are minting. We want everybody to succeed. So the tenets of the first principles and the mutual success is what we're really going after here.
All right, makes sense. All right, thanks, John.
I just have to add there, the amount of support we received from the community in this is just mind-blowing. We have fantastic people who are helping us in the different Telegram groups and Discords, and they're there every day, very passionately helping out. And it's sort of interesting from an organizational point of view when you're not creating. I've started many different companies in my life, and when you're building an organization from another approach, from a community perspective and not trying to feel like a person to a role, but rather you have people finding like where the needs are and filling those gaps themselves based on what they like to do. It's just an insanely more efficient way to create. We have many people helping us out with this, doing what they love, and we measure that they really love it because they're there every day, very passionately. I see we have some nice, very honorable guests in the house, GRC. But before we go to GRC, I want to go to Marcinos. He's been waiting longer, but I'm very happy to welcome you up at GRC.
Hi, thank you. I have two questions. First question is, do you plan to allow people who already minted their Zen to group them and convert to Zen NFT? That's the first one. And the second one is, what's your best guess about the price of Zen on Ethereum in a year time? Will it be the same as it is right now, or you expect higher or lower? Thank you.
We don't have any expectation about the price. It's impossible to speculate because, I mean, if you think about it, FTX falling apart had an effect of Bitcoin dropping from Bitcoin dropping from 20,000 to 16 or 15. So how can we actually understand what will happen with Zen? I mean, certainly we're working on the value creation here as much as we can. So we hope that the value will move up, and it's based on many different parameters.
Okay. And the first question about converting to Zen NFT, the current means with the same minting period.
Same minting period. Can you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I can mint for 100 days. I can mint for 300 days, and I minted from many wallets, and I'm managing those spreadsheets you mentioned, and it's quite hard to maintain. So I was wondering if it could be possible to somehow to create a feature for users who already minted and did not yet claim because they wait for the claim date, like to group the minted Zens with the same claim date and convert it to Zen NFT, to one Zen NFT.
There's no such plan today. There might be in the future, but we're not focusing on that right now.
Okay.
I think it's important to remember that you can just buy some on the market with one wallet and just keep it there.
Hello, GRC. How you doing, sir?
Hold on one second. Let me just get my audio set up. One second.
GRC is just waking up. Oh, wait a second. He's on the East Coast, right?
I'm just finishing up dealing with the Verizon wireless institution in this country, which is devastating to your emotional state at all times. I had to switch my phone over to something.
Yeah, I only allowed myself to be devastated by Verizon about 10 years ago, and I left them and never coming back.
I'm waiting for you to invite me to your villa, like a guest room or something. Maybe you could just cut the bill for the phone, and we could just, you could just sponsor me for Zen Action. No, I'm just kidding. The question about Mike, I'm just fucking with you. But the question was,
I need a bodyguard, dude. I need a bodyguard.
Nah, Sam's my bodyguard, so you better find one.
Well, Sam's welcome to come too.
If Sam comes with me, you're good for life as far as bodyguard.
All right.
He's like, oh damn. But seriously, as far as how many Zen for $1 million in the bull run? I'm just kidding. I can't stop poking jokes today. But for real, the price action, I watch the price action probably more than anyone on this earth, just because I think it's interesting, more than I'm really trying to make a huge amount of money on it. If you're thinking about the price action as anyone below like, and trying to capitalize on it, like really capitalize on it in the short term, you're not like one of the top like 20 dudes that pays attention to it. You will not. Don't put money you're willing to lose into a market buy. That's why the mint function is so cool, because you can like low risk it and still get a good rate. But as far as like once you get to the point where you are not managing wallets, because Jack, I don't like to manage crap. Right when you started saying all this stuff, I was like, I'm going to buy it on one wallet, do a couple. Has that turned out to been, in your opinion, Jack, like a better strategy as far as in hindsight? Like, because I know people that serial minted, and I tried to tell them, guys, I'm going to nuke you when there's a serious dip because you guys don't know what the gas fees are going to be. What do you think about that, Jack, as far as like some of those like more fine like ratio? Do you think people are understanding that they can buy it and get a similar rate, or is that not really clear for most users yet, you think?
I'm not certain what people understand or not, but here's what I understand is that if Zen's price drops significantly due to Zen not being very liquid on the markets, then you can lock in a lot of Zen by buying it. And effectively what you're doing, rather than waiting for 100 days, you can buy the 400-day set in your wallet today. The risk is that you may overpay. However, if the gas price gets elevated and stays elevated for a long time, then perhaps you're not overpaying, because you would have, first of all, you would overpay with time because you have to wait. Second of all, you would overpay with high gas prices. So the market is trying to find or do the price discovery with Zen. And what's really interesting so far, what we have seen, is that it's only been about 30 days. But when the gas price spiked to over 600, when FTX collapsed, nobody wanted to mint Zen. Everybody were buying Zen. So Zen actually went up in price when the crypto market started to keel over. And that's very interesting, because I think people are understanding that if the gas prices move higher, the Zen value has to catch up. But there will be a
Is that just for daily mint? Like, do you think there's enough daily mint action where that actual price, like, action? I mean, I'm asking you because I don't really know.
I mean, certainly daily mint is the most sensitive, but a lot of people no longer do daily mints because it's not profitable. So what's profitable is 4 or 5 days. And when I say profitable, we're talking 10-15% perhaps. And of course, the Zen's value is moving rapidly. It goes from 4 zeros and 1 to 4 zeros and 6 within the day. It's totally within the scope, just because there isn't a lot of float or liquidity.
And the upside wicks are ridiculous. Like people, and I'm not saying everyone in there knows exactly what they're doing, but there's so many upside wicks on Zen that is ridiculous. Like, because they're just maybe buying a lot on the market at a time when it's very sensitive. I don't know if they know that or not, but it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, when we say a lot, $2,000 moves Zen about 5%. So
that would be just about like a big buy on that chart. Yeah, I guess that would have been important to point out.
Yeah, so $2,000, like we saw, or this morning I saw $6,000 buy, and it moved the price from 97 to 101. So that's 4.5% roughly, and that's about $6,000, right? So imagine some whales getting the news and scooping it up rapidly. The price is going to get pushed very, very quickly. So it could 10x, 20x just within a day. Of course, it will likely fall afterwards because people will be taking profit, but that's the name of the game. Ultimately, I would say my strategy is to mint Zen on the weekend for the longest possible time, and then whatever I get, just stake it for 20%. That's the ideal situation.
Can you stake all your Zen that you accumulate onto one wallet?
Yeah.
You
use one wallet and just stake everything.
That's amazing. Wow.
I mean, what you're missing out if you're focusing on buying is you're really back to the minting formula. You're really incentivized because you're multiplying all these factors together. You're really incentivized to mint to hold it for a long time. Like, let's say you mint it from day one, and you can play with the calculator, and you choose 400 days, which you couldn't, but you could do it after a few days. And there's no growth in delta rank, so we assume that, then you would get a little bit above 1 million. But now, just after these 37 days, we can really see that there's been 2,500,000 accounts on Ethereum or something like that. That yields you another 27 million Zen, just for the adoption, the viral tokenomics effect that you are benefiting from. Everybody talking about Zen. When you're minting, that really benefits you. So it depends on your horizon. When you're asking, like,
well, it depends on the
funds.
gas fee. It's like gas fee structure is extremely sensitive to the point where you can stumble to your computer and have $150 mint on any day of the week and no one will be surprised. So minting, I bought 20 million Zen for like 30 something dollars for a $3.50 gas fee because it just happened to be at a good time. And I'm just telling people, like, I like to show that side of it because people get, yes, the minting is great for everyone, of course. Of course it's great for everyone. And I like my mints too, and they're fat and happy, and I'm excited about those. But I'll never get that rate again. I know that.
Yeah.
And I don't like clicking buttons.
Yeah, well, one thing what's really different about Zen is that when you buy it from the community. You buy it from the people that have minted it. So there is no shame in trading something and getting excited about the price action, especially due to the fact that if you do it in a decentralized manner, if you're learning about crypto, if you're setting up liquidity pools. So I have done a liquidity pool, and I think the liquidity pool was making me about 50% each week or something like that. So just because the liquidity is so low, you can actually get a lot of fees collected on Uniswap, which is pretty cool in itself. And it seems to be that the price have stabilized. It's 4 zeros and 1 at the moment, but it can move rapidly anytime when the gas prices spike. So that's a very interesting dynamic. Usually when the gas price spikes in a bear market, everybody's selling crypto, but it seems to be everybody's buying Zen when that happens. So that's kind of interesting and very different.
I think it might direct their attention, Jack. They go to their, and this is just a theory, they go over to their Zen.network front end and they interact with the mint function and they see that gas fee, right? So what does that direct their attention to? Probably over to the price chart, right? And then maybe they can kind of see that there is a ratio there. Like that ratio I've been talking about a lot, like the ratio where minting's not profitable for the day, but buying is. Like if you're just doing like a little one and just looking at the numbers. It is an interesting, but the only reason I do it, I'm like Jack, I only do it really on Ethereum. But what do I know about Ethereum? Everyone didn't understand the system yet when it started. So, well, it didn't mean they didn't understand it, but they just were doing what was in front of them. So they all did the minimum day right in the beginning when you got your best rate. So there's a big lot front-loaded load coming out at a day 100, and I think the supply is going to get pinched if people keep doing like $2,000 or $3,000 buys, and that's why I keep getting excited. You know, I'm like, I see the supply pinching off. I don't know how much could really be on the market on the daily. Like maybe in 700 days that'll look, 100% different. But it's fun to watch. Within those first 100 days, I'm really interested to see what can happen. But after that, and even every second, volatility risk is large.
Yeah. So someone mentioned that you got accused of promoting a shitcoin. How do you feel about that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I promote a lot of shitcoins. Literally, like I promote all the coins I promote are shitcoins. Like it's just some guy, and what I promote has nothing to do with what all these guys have to say about me. Like I don't really know them. But it's an incentive structure. Like I understand, I really respect Richard Hart, and he called me a shill idiot to my face in front of everyone. And it doesn't matter to me because I know what he's trying to do, and I'm like mature enough, I guess, to understand. Like he's supporting his liquidity pools. He made that very clear, and I totally get that, But I don't that's not my life. Like, and my T-shares work. He seems to like. a lot of the community wants to put you on a team or another. And I'm like, I think my T-shares still work. Every time when I check, they still work. And it's like, I don't think my brain decision on like doing other things has anything to do with it. I wanted to open up the discussion and talk about some of the reasons why maybe mass minting and bot and gas exposure is that a problem? And I think that's a question I'd like to ask you right now, like just an open-ended question, like worst case scenario type of stuff. Like, I just want to know, with people doing this over and over and over, let's say it just gets out of hand. Let's say worst case scenario, gas fees spike to $5,000 like they did in the bull run last cycle. And like people kind of get at a null on it, and it just like maybe like prices some people out or puts some people in a bind. I don't really know what I'm asking, but do you think the gas fee structure in general, maybe not the structure, but the way that gas works on Ethereum could cause any problems within the system as a whole?
Well, Ethereum has survived so far. So, I mean, we have seen gas prices in thousands before, and usually those are short-lived. And also, I would say that there have been like somewhat of an accusation that Zen has raised gas price for everybody. That is actually not true. Based on the time period you look at, I mean, certainly the first weekend it was pretty hot, but it's like this with any exciting project. And right now we have seen gas prices 7, 8, 9 way over the weekend. So what does it tell you about the gas price? I mean, things are going back to equilibrium, and I wouldn't really say it's going to continue to spike the gas price. Now should the gas price spike for other reasons, but even if it's the same reason when it comes to minting Zen, ultimately the economic forces will push back down, because what will happen is that if you're looking at spending $1,000 to mint your Zen, what will it do for the liquid Zen on the market? It will probably push up quite nicely. So those people who were not able to get their hands on Zen will be able to get their hands on the open market without minting. And so that will actually alleviate the pressure on the gas pump. You see what I mean, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh, yeah, it would equal out right away. Yeah. As far as all the scam talk, like, I don't listen to all that stuff, man. Like, that's just, that 95% of the people in crypto are going to not make money from the bull run.
Well,
Richard is not one of those guys. I'm not going to get sidetracked from what other people have to say when it comes to my financial situation. And nobody wants you to think critically about this stuff, guys. They don't want you to look at the liquidity pools. They don't want you to understand V3 Uniswap. They don't want you to. Why? Because it makes you too smart. And it makes, not too smart, stupid way to phrase it, but like too intrinsically aware of what goes on within the system.
Discerning.
And
you become discerning, and you're hard to take advantage of.
Right, because I just want to learn. And now, and I've learned what I've learned from everyone, and Jack answers all my questions really awesome. So I asked Jack a lot of questions, frankly, probably too many.
Yeah, and I kind of don't agree with the word shilling, because we're really not, when it comes to Zen, we're just telling people how mint works, right? And we're not saying, hey, buy it now or it will be too late. In fact, we're saying you have 8 years to participate. 8 years is a long time. It's only been a month.
Yeah, and everyone has incentive, right, Jack? And I kind of can understand your incentive maybe better than someone else. I mean, I met you. I've been covering this stuff for a long time. Maybe I don't know everything about you, obviously, but I understand incentive structure. I understand, like, kind of about you. And when I'm looking at a project, I'm looking at leadership, and I'm looking at adults working hard behind the scenes as far as the software and being mature about everything as it goes forward. And you've kind of done that stuff the whole time. And frankly, there's no one in crypto doing it. Jack's a huge threat because he knows actually how to do stuff. Even if he didn't know software, and he does, like, that's like the 10 times bonus. But like, even if he didn't know that stuff, like what Charles Hoskinson said in his last AMA is like, we need more adults that are willing to lead and are willing properly. And I think this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Much respect to Charles. I do like him a lot.
He's my man, Crush Monday.
He's the GOAT.
Damn, the GOAT. Dude, whenever I stream his stuff, everyone harasses me in the chat. I'm like, dude, this dude literally invented Ethereum. Like, what is fucking wrong with people? Sorry for my language.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, like, listen, we are innovators. We want to use this technology. We want to change the world, because if we don't, then the world that we're going to live in is going to be far more dystopian than having a competing chain, getting the other up, the overhand. So, like, a lot of this stuff is just like noise. It's just like unnecessary drama. It's like, let's break down the barriers. Let's create cool stuff because we know we can. And let's continue to innovate and
well, when I
join
see
forces.
fear, it's the fear that makes me feel like some people might not have foundation, and that's what I get worried about. Because I feel like someone who's not, like, Michael Jordan's not going to be afraid if Kobe comes on the court. He's going to bite down on his mouth guard and go at it, right? Like, he's not going to be like, get him off there so we can have a fair game. Like, Michael Jordan ain't going to do that. But so I want everyone to understand, it's like competition is what breeds beauty, and you want the beauty to come. You don't want to smash it, because there is realities where beauties get smashed. I'm sure there's been good ideas that have been ruined.
Yeah, GRC, amazing to talk to you. We could talk for hours. Let's.
Please put me down so I can shut up, because I won't. All right, bye. Hey guys, I'll talk to you later. I hope everyone
Hey, Zensu, I wanted to keep this one a little bit shorter because I want to do more of these talks. So I don't want to.
Sure, let's do one more with crypto Pinocchio here.
Okay, yeah, let's do one more.
Crypto Pinocchio, you have a question. Yeah. Okay. Maybe he will say. But hey, Jack, this was interesting. I like the spontaneity of it. I'm gonna go back and making this video of NFTs. It's totally mind blowing. I want everybody to understand what goes on, how it works. We have time, guys. There's still a few weeks left probably before we actually launch it, and I want everybody to understand what goes on. It's a beautiful new protocol, Zen Torrent protocol, which will be where you will be able to issue NFTs. So, yeah, Jack, do you have anything, any famous last words for this night's?
Well, hopefully not the last, because I want to do more of the Twitter Spaces and YouTube broadcasts. That's why I wanted to keep them shorter, so we can do them every day, and we can grow the community this way, and we can actually interact with the community and answer everybody's questions. And this broadcast is actually also going to YouTube. So if you saw my tweet reply, please go to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe. That will give obviously will bubble the channel higher, and will get you more notifications when we go live with YouTube and not Twitter specifically. So thanks for everybody joining. Really a pleasure to have everybody here and asking all those great questions. We're super excited as a team, and I think our community is excited. I think we're here to do great things in crypto, even though crypto is kind of on a shaky ground right now. But I think it is through crises and any sort of market panics, the true champions and true builders come up and build some amazing stuff. And I just hope to be myself and our team to be one of those builders, to bring something very interesting to the world that's available for everybody to explore and to learn crypto in the process. So that's kind of what I wanted to say in conclusion.
The way I see it is that the current state of Zen is like looking at the sunrise through a little keyhole. That's Zen to me right now. There's so much we can do with this. There's so much there that good that's going to happen with this. I can't wait to see you guys in the Telegram. Come to the Telegram, let's talk and ask anything. And yeah, guys, thank you so much, Jack. The Xenians are going strongly by the day.
Yes, we certainly are. Thank you, Zenso. Thanks for helping me host, and I'll see you guys again soon.
Goodbye, guys.